In the sprawling city of Seoul, there lived a quiet and unassuming woman named Kim Mi-young. She was an ordinary office worker, always blending into the background. Known for her dedication and kindness, Mi-young was the type of person who put everyone else first. Her colleagues affectionately, but somewhat pityingly, called her the post-it girl, someone who was always there to support others, but never stood out herself. Mi-young had dreams, of course, dreams of finding love, of building a life that wasn't defined by the mundane routine of her daily grind. But like so many of us, her reality didn't match the fairy tales. She kept her hopes alive in little ways, by helping her aging mother, working long hours to keep food on the table, and caring for the people in her life. She had no idea that her fate was about to take a turn she never saw coming. Enter Lee Gun, a successful, cold, and distant CEO of a massive corporation who had spent most of his life focused solely on building his family's empire. Gun was the picture of wealth, privilege, and perfection, at least on the outside. But beneath the surface, he was struggling. His family was pushing him to marry a woman they deemed suitable for his status, and his heart, scarred by past relationships, had long closed off from the idea of love. But even the most unfeeling heart can be softened by fate. One evening, Mi-young won an unexpected prize, a free trip on an exclusive luxury cruise. It was a dream come true, a break from her stressful life. Little did she know, that night would be the beginning of everything changing. On board, she unknowingly crossed paths with Lee Gun. They were two people from completely different worlds, yet their fates were about to intertwine in the most unexpected way. What started as a series of comedic misunderstandings between the two escalated when a mistaken identity, a glass of champagne, and a night of reckless passion led to a one-night stand that neither of them would forget. Mi-young, the sweet and innocent woman who had never experienced love in such a bold way, woke up the next morning shocked to find herself in a situation she had never imagined. And then, the worst possible news. She was pregnant. Gun, who had spent years avoiding emotional connections, was now bound to this ordinary woman by a consequence neither of them had planned. Both were overwhelmed by the gravity of the situation, but family expectations, obligations, and pride pushed them into a forced marriage. Mi-young was hesitant, unsure of her place in his glittering, high-society world. Gun, meanwhile, had no desire for a relationship built on obligation, but what other choice did they have? As they navigated the challenges of their new, unconventional life together, sparks began to fly, sparks of anger, confusion, but also a deep, undeniable connection. Gun's cold demeanor began to thaw as he saw Mi-young's heart, her kindness, and her resilience. Mi-young, who had always put others first, began to see the complexities of the man behind the CEO title. However, just as their relationship began to shift from obligation to something real, fate threw another curveball. A tragic accident left Gun struggling with his own emotions, haunted by his past, terrified of losing the one person who had finally broken through his emotional walls. Mi-young, caught in the middle of his turmoil, faced the painful question, could love truly flourish when the odds were so stacked against them? Could she find a place in his world, or would her own heart be broken in the process? Gun found himself at a crossroads, torn between his family's expectations and the woman who had shown him that real love doesn't come from status or power, but from vulnerability and connection. Mi-young, on the other hand, had to face the ultimate question, was she strong enough to stand by him, even as the world seemed determined to keep them apart?